y'all tonight?
Yeah, obviously good stuff. To me, he was getting ahead early in the count and locating 4 different pitches in every single count and kind of kept us off balance. Clearly had good stuff, and he was just better than us tonight.
What was the scouting report on some of that breaking stuff? Because it seemed like, especially some of the young guys, just weren't seeing it well.
I mean, it was just the scouting report was exactly what it was. It might have had a little more bite tonight because he was competing his butt off, but we have all the reports. They feed us plenty of information to go out there and get it done, and we didn't get it done. It definitely wasn't lack of information.
This won't be the first rubber match you guys have played in. You played in a couple already in conference play. What do you like about the way you guys have approached those games in recent weeks?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we got a bunch of guys back from last year's team who kind of made a living off of it last year, but it's kind of nice being able to kind of lean on the previous weeks being in one-to-one series. Obviously, we're really comfortable with Tegan going out there tomorrow. We got plenty of guys in the pen, and you know, there's just a bunch of older guys that have kind of been in the situation, so I feel like everyone's prepared.
Good was it to see AJ out there in SEC play and center field? What was kind of your perspective on his outing?
Yeah, it's good to have him back for sure. I think he was on a pitch count tonight, so you know, he's looked good, and it's good to see him back building up, you know, more pitches. He was kind of doing the same as our starter, you know, locating 3-4 different pitches and working ahead early in the count.
Third straight week, y'all lost game 2 after winning game 1. Any common denominator that you can maybe identify?
No, just not showing up, I guess, good enough for game 2. You know, we obviously knew we dropped game 2 the last 2 weeks, but it's definitely no correlation. We just got to play better and hook it up more.
What's the vibe early on when there's just a couple of defensive lapses here and there, a couple of free 90s, and not stuff y'all normally do? What's the message in the dugout at that point?
Make the next play. Obviously, we kind of, you know, lean on that even in the fall. You know, get the next one because the game, you know, definitely doesn't feel sorry for you, and certainly none of the fans feel sorry for you either. And that's obviously why we are here is to go out there and make plays. So it's just kind of push it behind you, go out there and get the next one.
Why was Marcus able to get out of so many jams today?
He's got good stuff. He's a big leaguer on the mound. You know, he's got big time velo on the heater and good off-speed stuff, really good presence, and just like their guy, he was locating different pitches. And I think he's been, you know, around the block a few times now. He's been in those situations like that. And, you know, he's obviously more comfortable, you know, working around him.
What about Marcus allows him to grit through this type of outing?
Yeah, he's a hard worker. I've been around this guy for 2 years now. Personally, I think he had a pretty dang good outing. I think it was 2 earned runs, 2 runs. But he'll look over it, see what he has to do better. But I thought he pitched really well, and he'll be ready next week.
Are you a guy who, y'all haven't lost a lot of games, obviously, in the past couple of years. Are you a guy who kind of, as soon as the game's over, you forget about it, or do you kind of go home and stew a little bit? What works for you?
I mean, there's a couple things I kind of, you know, look back on, at bat stuff, you know, maybe a couple things to do with my swing, but I'll forget about this game. I guess technically I already forgot about the game, really, once I walked right off the field. But no, I'm definitely not going to dwell on a loss, and you know, I'm looking forward to coming out and competing tomorrow.
Thanks, Hunter.
Thank you, Hunter. I appreciate it.